A few words about news before we look at the price and technical analysis of Bitcoin. First, forging on in the bear market, according to investor Oliver Isaacs, crypto is still getting started. And indeed, a lot of the people are still bullish despite of the market conditions. Isaacs believes that although cryptocurrencies are currently in a bear market, there are plenty of reasons for long-term optimism. Short-term volatility is great if you're speculating or looking for arbitrage, Isaac notes, but what really matters to holders and serious investors is the long-term trend in the value of popular cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. For example, Bitcoin went from less than 1,000 per coin to nearly 20,000, or approximately 2,000% increase in about a year, and so on. So you see a lot of predictions by other crypto bulls, like $100,000, but yeah, it's not that crazy if you look at the history of Bitcoin. Another crypto bull, Jack Dorsey, believes Bitcoin will be the world's sole currency within 10 years. 10 years is a long period of time, but there will be no wonder that if it will happen, because a lot of problem with the current financial system, and Bitcoin can indeed solve a lot of them. And despite that, there are arguments about the Bitcoin is slow and it cannot maintain like the the volume of the transaction if you'll use the main chain. However, there are like side chains, there is Lightning Network and so on, which could be used. So why not? It is really possible. And something about from CNBC, which is well known, adequate, in a double quote, source for crypto news and crypto statements about crypto. This guy, Marcus Lemonis, said that I don't think most people understand crypto, and like I don't understand it actually, so I don't believe that crypto has any future. Well, I would say it's better to understand it before making some statements like that. Well, so just, well, it's my opinion, right? Again, he may like cash, but there are things which you would consider making such believing such people who already get an established position in financial existing financial system. So maybe they don't want to lose this position when they see the threat from crypto. I don't know. Who knows actually? But let's move to the price of Bitcoin and look what happened recently. So yesterday, if you remember, we were considering the fact that in this sort of the channel of Bitcoin price, we had this stop orders collection from the bottom, top, even higher, and then even lower again, and then finally, yeah, like yesterday, somewhere around here, we expected that the bearish bearish momentum, it was really strong, so we could have another leg down, and we had it, and we collected more liquidity around here, not that huge though, but still. And so this movement was pretty much expected. So what can I say is that it looks like a primitive standard like shaking out of both buyers and sellers before make a strong movement. And currently at the moment, I would say that it's easier to go to the upside, to break upside, than go down, because there are several reasons actually to go to the upside. Although we don't have much of the degrees of the longs, and we don't have much of the rise of the shorts, but still things are more positive right now. So let me try to summarize what I see from the technical analysis point of view, like those indicators or just patterns or signals which seem to be meaningful to me. First, when we will refer to the same previously mentioned this triangle, and we broke it downwards, and if you would just expect the price follow the pattern, this triangle, then probably would expect it to go somewhat to $2,700 or $800. However, this is not it's not necessarily to happen, of course, and it's very sort of unclear area around here, because a lot of people would like to buy before that, and there's a lot of the buy orders I would expect to happen before this area. However, just from the technical standpoint, this is the thing which we shall go to. Also, if we would look at the weekly chart once again, then we would see that we still are pretty much above the 200 weeks moving average, and actually we even didn't touch it. If you look at from the Bitfinex chart, we even didn't touch it before at the bottom, and now this moving average is going higher and higher. So if we'll continue to make a slow bleeding downwards, then we may touch something like 3,300 or something like that, and then on Bitfinex, and then eventually we may not even pierce this moving average, which would be a strong level for a lot of the people trading crypto right now. So we may bounce off this or from the level a little higher than this moving average, and don't go even to this $2,700 or $800 line. So until then, until we will not pierce it in a high volume, I wouldn't really consider this to be too bearish. And another thing which I shall mention is that, in fact, if we look at the market conditions at the bottom points, at the minimums points, at the minimum points of the price during the whole 2018, then we'll see that we had just a single point of sort of quasi-perfect V-shaped reversal at the bottom, where we had in February 6th, and it was pretty much of the low of the high volatility around here, huge volume at the bottom, and so on. Later, we didn't have it. We just have some flat area close to the bottom, and then we made a squeeze. Then here, pretty much the same, not so much volume, some weak bearish behavior, and then we basically went up. The same here, and actually even last drop was pretty much similar. We didn't have much of the volume at the bottom. We had some volume before, we had some volume after, but at the very low we didn't have it. And at some point on the one hand, it may indicate that it wasn't the bottom actually, but on the other hand, it may say that, well, it's actually how the bottom behaves recently, looks recently. So, and in fact, if we consider this as like the bearish behavior of the price, which is more or less typical recently, then you would see that previously we had, like, from when we dropped from the 6,000, this was very sharp, and this one was also very sharp, and then we had less sharp, quite of the like channel type drop, like decrease, and then the slope became even less abrupt, less sharp, right? And then almost flat, and basically like bears are very like not inconvinced, how to say that, not convinced in their ability to push the price lower. So the same thing, pretty much the same thing is happening right now when we look at the price drop from 4,000 or something like this, 4,100. This was a huge, relatively huge red candle. This was smaller. This was even smaller. So and actually after that we have like a little bit of the rebounds, retrace from the lowest point. So it seems like that bears are sort of out of the energy to push the price lower. A lot of the altcoins actually are in the green right now, especially versus Bitcoin. So it seems like, well, like in this area, it seems like we are having more chance to go upwards from now on, considering all the things which we just covered, this, and including this break up and down of the channel which we looked at for a while. So it seems like it's easier for the price to move to the up instead of going even lower. So I wouldn't really consider to going long right now, but I would say that I would give like 2 chances from 3 the price will go up instead of like, and just 1 of 3 to go down. And if we will go down, that then we either will stop somewhere around at $3,300 or $400, or this is Coinbase now, or we will go lower and return to something like, not return, but retrace this previous bottom. And actually I need to mention this as well. This is the behavior from $3,200, and you see this 1, 2, 3 legs up and then decrease, and then again increase the previous high, and then one more huge red candle similar to this one but just the red one, and then this one similar to this one. So then another third red candle is just like, okay, we need to make it. It would be perfect symmetrical behavior of the price, but it seems too obvious to me. I would think that we shall not have it. If we will have it, then we may actually form a double bottom if we'll have the bounce off this level, and if we'll confirm it and like go above $4,100 strongly, then we may go like to $5,000 to play this pattern out. If not, then well, it's then not. But again, this is too obvious, I think, to happen. I think we shall either stop on the way or not even make this leg whatsoever. So, concluding, as usual, not financial advice. I think it's more reasonable to price manipulators, or whatever you call them, to push price high right now than to go lower. And there are other signals, other indicators, but I don't want to keep you that long here. So thank you for being with me, and let's see how things will happen, will evolve tomorrow. And hope to see you next update. Safe trading, guys. Goodbye.